Hello, my name is JJ Phillips. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present Protect Your Loved Ones, PILO, a framework for etiquette-based advocacy communication. The World Health Organization reports that 1 in 10 patients are harmed in healthcare globally. US healthcare organizations report that over 60% of hospital adverse events result from poor communication. In 2024, the Joint Commission reported over 160,000 preventable deaths worldwide. These effects of miscommunication in healthcare are staggering, but more so, they are preventable. Poor communication is a significant contributor to medical errors, malpractice claims, and preventable deaths in healthcare settings. Miscommunication can lead to misunderstanding of patients' symptoms, treatment plans, follow up, and it can result in many adverse patient outcomes. Miscommunication has a serious impact on senior citizens. They are particularly vulnerable because they are often socially isolated, they lack advocacy, and the growing elderly population requires a tailored communication strategy to address their specific needs and support effective decision making. The World Health Organization estimates that by 2050, individuals 60 and over will double and reach 2 billion people. Workforce gaps, increased urgency for geriatric care, creates a critical need for training to have skilled practitioners that are capable and able to communicate with this very specific population. Patient advocates are needed now more than ever, and often is recognized when it is too late. In my framework, I discuss etiquette-based medicine and social intelligence. They align very nicely for this population. The growing advocacy need for senior citizens and better health care providers is a life and death situation. And etiquette-based advocacy communication is a framework combining social intelligence theory and etiquette-based medicine to create a pathway to enhance a patient's experience, their interactions in a positive way, for the advocate to be able to be more interpersonal, effective with communicating with the healthcare providers. And etiquette-based medicine is pretty simple. It's asking permission to go in the room, introducing yourself, sitting and being eye to eye with someone, if possible, explaining, the problem that's going on, explaining outcomes, possibilities, and incorporating social intelligence allows for not only the practitioner, but also the advocate to be able to read the room, be clear, understand how socially and emotionally their behavior, their communication style affects others, and being clear, being authentic, and allowing the practitioner to really understand how much you care and that you're really there for the patient's best outcomes. This is so needed for our senior citizens population because they are oftentimes not very technologically savvy. There can be cognitive impairment. Maybe they have low health literacy. And the world is very different now. Someone that's 80 may not want to get a text message. They might want a phone call. They might want to see you in person. So educational programs like the PILO program focuses on teaching these skills for this specific population to better their outcomes, to have a better experience with the practitioner, and for the practitioner to have a better experience with the patient. The framework is so needed for several reasons, as the research shows that miscommunication can cause harm and worse, death, while communication can heal. I've created a brief video to share my why, which I will share with you now. As we watch the rest of these slides, I always think we have one more birthday. We had another Thanksgiving, another Christmas. And the reason I put this slide in is because that was something I kept saying the whole time was, he's still in there. When when my dad first went in the hospital, I had just been home. I had just been there 2 days before, and it was a little bit concerning because they kept asking me if I wanted to do a DNR. And I said, well, why would I want to do that? You know, this all just happened. There's nothing to even talk about at this point. We don't even know what's wrong with him yet. And my dad's DNR is very specific. You know, it's basically if he's brain dead, yes. And so I was like, how could we even think about this? This man just bowled a perfect game. You know, we had this great weekend. We're definitely not there yet. Like, he hasn't even been in here for 24 hours. So within the first 4 days, I think I had 6 DNR calls if I wanted to change my mind. Or so we experienced a lot of really different things. Ageism was definitely one of them, one of the many things that we experienced. But why I share this with you is because while I've been in this fantastic program, I've been told how important it is to have passion for your research, because you're going to be stuck with it, for a long time. So while I do not pretend or imply in any way that I've an expertise in medicine or healthcare administration, however, I do know that how we communicate matters. And I know that it influences people, psychologically, physically, emotionally, but more so the outcomes that we hope to achieve. And if we expect our healthcare providers to spend time with us and our family and explain things and care for us, then we as advocates need to do the same in turn, and be respectful and be present and be clear and ask questions and take notes and be accountable, because it's up to us to do our best. And my experience with my father is my why. The sometimes the most challenging things and heart-wrenching things, through a lived experience, can ignite a reason for change, but it also can create that moment that you're involved in something where you see how much change is needed. So even though there's so many programs available, for communication, this particular age group is not simple. I don't mean to simplify it, but I do believe that the communication needs to be more straightforward and kind and caring. And that'll be a way that, we can build trust. So while it may seem simple, I experienced all that I did with my father in 4 different healthcare facilities between August 10th and November 13th of 2022. After that, it was about another year of research, changing doctors, removing medications, and ensuring that we were all on the same page, that we were all paying attention, we were all collaborating, but more so that we were communicating. I realized that, it was up to me to stay diligent and be kind, be respectful, because we must meet the healthcare providers and experts halfway as advocates. We need to be accountable and keep them informed and be present, be authentic. So I want everyone to consider that. I know sometimes, you're scared and you're fearful as an advocate. I never planned on being an advocate, but I sure did learn a lot, and I do see a real need for an etiquette-based advocacy communication. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to let me present today. This is very exciting. I was very nervous. And please contact me with any questions, or if you just want to talk about this a little bit more. I've included my information in the poster. And remember one thing, it's very important to be an advocate for those you love and care for, but please also always be an advocate for yourself. Thank you. I'm JJ Phillips.